Hi everyone, it's Alicia Louise Lillington. I'm a 33-year-old mum of one. She's 14 months old, and about 2 months ago I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. I'm sharing my chemo journey here on YouTube, so if you're new, welcome. If you have been following for a little while, welcome back, and thank you so much to everyone that has been reaching out, following along, giving me feedback. It has actually been good to have these videos here so that I don't have to share updates time and time again, especially when my voice has been impacted by my Hodgkin lymphoma tumor. And then, it's harder, like my voice ends up getting tired and I get tired more easily. So it is good in a way to have these here. I guess like the intention of my videos, I always thought that this might help somebody once they were diagnosed with cancer, or particularly Hodgkin lymphoma. And especially for me as a new mum, I found out probably when my daughter was about 13 months old about this cancer diagnosis, and it was completely out of the blue. I had everything planned, and so I consulted YouTube and had a look around, but I couldn't find, exactly someone who was a new mum, who had a similar diagnosis in a similar situation to me. So my intent with these videos was always to help someone out there that might be in a similar position, just looking for that information in Australia as well. That's kind of, I just wanted to share why I was doing these videos, but it has ended up that a lot of people that I know have been watching these. So hello. I guess I didn't think that people I know would watch them. But it has been good, and it's nice that people like care and follow along and want to know what the journey's like. I think a few people have said as well they haven't had someone close to them who's had cancer and shared what the journey's like. And people who know me definitely thought that it wouldn't be me as the one going through this journey, because, life was very dynamic. I had a lot of plans, but cancer wasn't on the plan for me, but that's okay. We adapt and we learn and we grow. I haven't recorded for a while, and even the things that I posted, I'm posting a lot later. So, but sometimes I have energy, sometimes I don't, and I'm just kind of going with the flow. I'm currently, what am I? It's like a week and a bit after my third chemo. So I'm in the second cycle of expected 4 cycles of 28 days. And then I suppose this is about day 10 of the second cycle. So I'll have my next chemo this Wednesday, which will be chemo number 4 of 8 expected, which will mean I'm halfway through the expected regime. I then have a PET scan booked after that, which will be a full body scan, and we'll see, how the chemo is going and where everything's up to. So I'm interested to see how everything's going, but I'm also a little bit nervous because I just don't know. I definitely feel a lot of improvement within myself. I had a lot of trouble breathing before I started chemo, and I've had quite a few symptoms. I had ear pain that seems to have subsided. My breathing's gotten better, which is really good. It's good to be able to just breathe normally again, because even chatting to counsellors and psychologists and support teams, often the feedback is to do meditation and breath work, but that's really hard when you can't breathe and you end up focusing on I'm not able to breathe and overthinking that. So I feel like because I am, my personality is to be a go-getter and a dynamic person, I feel like now I just want to get on with my normal life, but it's not that easy. Still going through treatment. And I guess, everyone has their own journey and way that they go through chemo and cancer. And it's all different. It's all very individual on how you go through it. With the type of chemo I'm on, the doctor has medically cleared me to work, but sometimes, you know, I am quite fatigued, and also mentally I feel, you know, a bit of a challenge to be ready to work. But I started feeling just like I need something, I need to keep my mind active. I'd really like to go back to work on the contract I've been engaged in since last year. I had a conversation with them, they were really supportive, and on Friday I went back and did 4 hours. I just did 8 till 12 to see how I'd go, and it was really lovely. I've been away, and also, you know, I stopped work really suddenly. I got sort of the expected diagnosis, and the next day I was off work. That was late March. It's now, you know, mid to late May, and I just stopped suddenly, no warning. I didn't have time to wrap anything up or notify anyone, and that abrupt end was quite challenging. But I was able to go back, and I just have really lovely colleagues. I was able to get my mind back immersed in the program I'm working on, and that was really good for me, and that feels right for me. This next week I'm going to try and do 10 hours, just 2 days, 7 till 12, and we'll see how we go from there. I'll be getting, my 4th chemo on Wednesday. So the first few days after chemo I have a steroid and I'm okay, but then I sort of notice this drop in the cycle on days 5 to 7. So we'll see how we go with that. And I'm just really grateful to be able to go back part-time, because you know, I'm engaged as a contractor. I don't necessarily have the entitlement to do that, but the team has been very lovely, understanding, helpful, and I just appreciate that on a personal level, that they would be willing and open to let me explore part-time and give me work that's not time sensitive. So what a blessing to have a job like that. I'm very, very grateful. I just had a catch up with a bunch of my friends online, so it is a little harder for me these days to go out, just because I'm immunocompromised and can't go in big group settings. I've also got a friend who's living overseas in Taiwan, and one of my good friends as well is living in Melbourne. The rest of our group lives in Canberra, but you know, some of us have kids and different things going on, so we were all able to join, and it was a bit like COVID times, but it's just so lovely to see them. I've got the best group of close friends. There's 7 of us in the group, and we call ourselves the United Nations because we're all from different cultural backgrounds, and yeah, they're just the best people. I'm so lucky to have been friends with them since year 7, and some even since kindergarten, so that's lovely. And then others joined, I think, in year 10 or year 11. But yeah, it was just fun. We played Jackbox games, and we played Gartic Phone. You might remember those games from COVID times, but I think, you know, if you do have someone in your life who's unwell, or you just want to get together again, why not have an online catch up with friends? It's so lovely just to see everyone. I feel like during COVID we did catch up online and we did touch base, but it sort of dropped away for a while, so that was just lovely. You can see as well my hair's a little bit different, so I've still been losing a lot of hair, and I did get this wig. I have 2 wigs now. This one I got from Heads Up in Kipax in Canberra. They ordered it in, I think it's called the Angelica wig. I shared on my stories as well that I feel a little bit weird about wearing a wig, but the more I think about it, there's a lot of people who experience hair loss, and chatting to friends online, some people were saying, you know, it's just like makeup, it's just an extension of yourself putting a wig on. I do feel so much better recording this time, because before I didn't really know as much about what I was going to do with the videos. I didn't even know if I was going to post them one day on YouTube, and you know, I was in my pajamas and everything. But for me, getting a little bit dressed up has definitely been helping. I think on the days I'm just in activewear or pajamas, It feels a lot more like, it feels slower, it feels harder. I don't feel like myself because I am the person that traditionally likes to dress up. So that's just something that is important to me and makes me feel like myself. Also, I have been chatting to a friend, Alexandra, in Melbourne. She does style consultations. And so we've been talking about what type of clothes and fibres to wear that are both comfortable but also stylish. And we talked about, merino wools and natural fibres, and also things like, a Lululemon pant. Let's say a Lululemon pant. I love when people say a pant. Just to be stylish but also comfortable. What else can I tell you about the last couple of weeks? I've had some good chats with my counsellor from the Employee Assistance Program. When I talk to her about my mind wandering sometimes, she just says double the dosage of meditation, and I think that's a really good tip and trick. She recommended looking at Greg Braden, and she sort of, we talk a lot about Joe Dispenza, who's someone I've followed for a long time. She also talks about accepting what has happened, and rather than saying my body is healing, saying my body is healed. So there are a couple of tips and tricks from my counsellor. She also talks about the future, because I think I get anxious and wonder what the future will be. Of course, don't we all? And she just says, imagine the future as you want it. What will it feel like? And your subconscious will be redirected. She also talks about imagining a queen on the throne directing your body to do what it needs to do. Like, your body needs to be directed. So let the body do the doing, saying with authority, I am healed, I am whole. Don't know if that's too woo-woo or spiritual for you, but that's what I talk about with my counsellor. I also got referred to a counsellor in the cancer counselling service in ACT, and I had a long chat to her yesterday in person. I talked about some of the objectives I have, and I think there's a few projects for me on the go, and that is quite motivating as well and exciting. I've been waking up sort of 3 a.m. sometimes, and I just get up and have a bath because my bones are very achy. I think this cycle I did decide to stop the Zoladex, and I've noticed a big difference. I haven't had the chest pain. I feel better within myself. So I do think that hormone was just throwing me out of whack. And unfortunately, just making me feel a bit weird. My husband went away for a work trip, and that was hard with little Bubba. I was able to stay with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, which was really nice. They are very supportive, and it's just when you're unwell and looking after a little one, it's very challenging. And I've chatted to a couple of people in my community about who have also had, a brain tumor or different things going on, and looking after little ones. It's a real skill and challenge to be a mum of a little one while you're unwell. So if you're like that and you're out there, I'm thinking of you. I just try to do slower activities with her. We have the little ladder and slide inside that I can watch her go up and down. I do reading with her. I sing to her. Now that my voice is slowly coming back, as I've always said, that's my mum tool, but I've lost my voice a lot. I think as a mum, sometimes I'm hard on myself because I just think I don't have enough energy for her, but I have to be easy on myself and give myself the space to heal. And she is looked after. She is thriving. Her daycare says she's doing so well. So I'm so proud of her. And I absolutely love being a mum. I just never thought, this would happen at this time. So, and as a mum, it's hard, especially when you're solo parenting, and there's people out there who are solo parents. I'm very lucky that I have a partner, and he's very supportive, and we're able to go through this together. But when he's away, it's so much more challenging. I definitely feel like I need support, and I do have a good support network. A lot of people reach out and say, how can I support you? But sometimes it's just, you know, in the middle of the night when she's crying and I can't figure out what's going on, and I'm exhausted and she's exhausted, and we didn't sleep for a couple of nights, and that definitely adds to the challenges sometimes. I think that's all I'm going to say for today. I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but it's already been 15 minutes. I'm feeling, like I just want to get back to my normal life. I don't want to just be a cancer patient. I don't want to be unwell, but I have to give it time, and that's kind of the frustrating thing for me now. I've enjoyed spending time on my days off when I have energy with my dad and my sister and my mum and my family and my in-laws. That's been getting me through. I love catching up with people when I have energy, but I do find that I do get fatigued quite quickly. I think it's just a balance of like not putting too much pressure on myself. I'm definitely a to-do list type person, and I feel like I need to tick things off to achieve, but I've just got to give myself time and space and everything like that at the moment. I'm just double checking if there was anything else I wanted to mention to you. I don't think so. I think that's all for now. I'll try and do another update, and I'm going to try and do a couple of targeted videos about things like how I found out I had cancer. I mean, these ones have been more vlog style, but I can hear baby and my husband coming home, so I'll leave it there. Go see my baby and talk to you guys again soon. Bye.